Welcome to rSlash Am I the Butthole, where OP's father-in-law is obsessed with stealing OP's breast milk. Am I the butthole for calling my father-in-law a pervert? I have a 7-month-old baby boy. I'm breastfeeding, but the baby is currently weaning. I'm convinced that my father-in-law is being weird about my breastfeeding, and not in a "that makes me uncomfortable" sort of way. I made baby popsicles from my boob milk a few months ago, and my father-in-law put in the group chat that I'd love to try one of those with hearts as eyes emoji. I said, WTF, they're made from breast milk, and he said that he didn't notice that caption. Today, I baked the baby some muffins. It's a recipe that called for a half cup of breast milk, so I made them per recipe. My father-in-law came over unannounced and said, "Oh, yum, someone's been baking." I told him, those muffins are for the baby. They're just fruit, flour, and breast milk. I have a normal cake that we can have. I then left the room to wash my hands, came back, and one of the muffins was missing. I asked my husband, and he had no idea. So I asked my father-in-law, and he said that he ate it. I said that's disgusting. I told him that they were the babies and they contained breast milk. He doubled down and said that it's okay because breast milk... breast milk is vegan. I told him that he's a creepy pervert and to get the F out of my house. My husband is baffled by the whole thing and was convinced that it was a misunderstanding, even though I explicitly said that they're made with breast milk. My father-in-law said that I'm a dick because I made loads and the baby wouldn't miss out. My mother-in-law was blowing up my phone until I asked her if she was really okay with my father-in-law drinking milk that came from my boobs. I think she didn't get the whole story. My sisters say that it's effing gross and that my father-in-law is a weirdo. First of all, I've never heard in my life that breast milk is vegan. It's not. It can't be because it comes from a person, an animal. It's dairy, which automatically makes it not vegan, so I don't know what this guy's talking about. Also, you know that phrase, it's like stealing candy from a baby? Well, this guy literally steals boob milk muffins from babies. Also, one fact I'd like to point out that if you haven't had a baby you might not be aware of is that some women are really super limited in how much milk they can make. So yeah, even if OP did make a lot of muffins, that's still a certain percentage of milk supply that the baby needs. Some women literally can't produce enough milk just for one baby alone. So to take milk from that baby supply is pretty unethical. Unfortunately, we don't know how prolific OP's boobs are, so we can't really know for sure how important those, that one little bit of breast milk was. But still, it's taken from a baby. It's taking baby food from a baby, which is just mean. Then you add in that this is milk from his daughter-in-law's boobs, and it gets even weirder. OP, I'm on your side. I'm giving you 0 out of 5 buttholes. I'm giving your father-in-law 2 out of 5 buttholes. I also agree with you that your father-in-law is a pervert. I have to ask though, OP, what cookbooks are you reading? Am I the butthole for not taking my wife's side and siding with my parents? I'm a 30-year-old man and my wife is 28. Me and my wife and my brother and his wife went to visit our parents because we haven't seen them in a while. My parents had a box of $300 ginseng in the fridge to be given as a gift to their close friend's wedding anniversary tomorrow. We know this because it came up in conversation during lunch. They also told us to help ourselves to anything in the fridge, but to not touch the ginseng for obvious reasons. The problem came when a few hours later, my parents called us in a panic saying that they couldn't find the ginseng and asking if anyone saw it. I didn't take it, and at first, I thought they just misplaced it somewhere. However, they insisted that they both agreed that they wouldn't move it out of the fridge drawer for that exact reason. All of us denied taking it, and the conversation got more heated when my father started yelling that someone must have taken it since it only went missing when we came to visit. All of us continued to deny taking it, with my wife being really quiet. My father said that if it doesn't turn up soon, he'd have to have everyone's belongings checked. That's when my wife admitted that she took it. Apparently, it was some popular brand that my in-laws mentioned, and she thought that no one would notice since it was in an inconspicuous place in the fridge? My mother-in-law later called me and said that my parents overreacted over such an inconsequential thing. And she screamed at me that I was a butthole for not defending my wife. The thing is, in my opinion, it wasn't a small thing. My wife literally stole hundreds of dollars from my parents and tried to lie her way out of it. While I agree that my parents shouldn't have started yelling and accusing us, I feel like my wife was in the wrong for taking the ginseng in the first place. This situation has caused a lot of friction, and we haven't been speaking since coming home. Am I the bad guy? OP, your wife is a thief. She straight up stole $300. And what boggles my mind about this story isn't the audacity of stealing $300. It's the stupidity of her thinking that no one would notice. What? Like, everyone was literally talking about the ginseng, and your parents had to go get the ginseng and give it to someone within 24 hours. So, of course they were going to notice. How could they literally not notice? It's impossible to not notice it's missing. Is your wife okay? Is she having some sort of mental break? How on earth could she possibly think that they wouldn't notice? I think realistically, she's fully aware they would notice. It's just somehow she thought that she could get away with it by lying, I guess. I don't know, some majorly weird behavior coming out of your wife, OP. Yes, it is a big deal. I agree with you there. But I actually disagree with you, OP, when you said, what did you say? While I agree that my parents shouldn't have started yelling and accusing us. What? Why? Why do you think that they shouldn't have yelled and accused you? It could literally only be one of the four of you. You, your wife, or your brother and his wife. It has to be one of you, so of course they're going to accuse you. All right, hold on. OP posted an update. Let's see if this sheds some light. After making the post, I thought a lot more about the situation. I realized after reading the comments that this indeed was not a one-time situation. Things in our house like face creams, kitchen utensils, and even household tools would go missing, and I would just believe my wife's excuses. I feel like such an idiot for not realizing sooner, and honestly, I can't believe she took advantage of my trust like that. I guess a part of me refused to believe the truth, which is how she thought that she could get away with it this time. When I brought up divorce, she immediately threatened to call the cops to arrest me for domestic violence, when I had never laid a hand on her like that. So that way I could never find a job again. So needless to say, my lawyer is being called, and this marriage is ending very soon. I've also apologized to my parents for this awful behavior, and they've accepted. To be honest, this is probably the best ending, and I'm kinda glad the situation happened before it went on any longer. I'm incredibly done with my, hopefully, soon-to-be ex-wife and her side of the family, whose mother called me again yesterday, entirely remorseless, and called me a childish mama's boy. Also, to clarify, from what I'm aware, my mother-in-law was aware of my wife's actions, especially since she's done this sort of thing before, taking things from our house to give to them. And she didn't see anything wrong with it since neither of them like my parents. And since it was going to be a short visit, like 2 hours tops, she thought that no one was going to notice the missing ginseng before we left. OP, your wife is bonkers. Man, she's nutso. She's a thief, and a stupid thief at that. Entitled, lying, manipulating thief. Divorce her, don't look back, move on with your life, OP. OP, I'm giving you 0 out of 5 bad guys. I'm giving your wife 3.5 out of 5 bad guys. Am I the bad guy for ambushing my sister at her wedding reception because she told me her wedding was child-free when it actually wasn't? I'm a 46-year-old man. I am not close with my sister, Tracy, who's 29, but we have a good relationship. At least we did before this incident happened. Tracy got married recently, and she told me the wedding was child-free. I have a daughter, Ella, who's 12, and I asked Tracy if she could come, but she said sorry, she and her partner were sticking to the rules. I managed to arrange for Ella to stay at a friend's house for a couple of days since the wedding was in a different city. So I went to the wedding, and I saw quite a few older children, including my other siblings' kids. I asked my brother at the wedding, and he said that he was told the child-free limit was only for really young kids, like disruptively young. It was obvious that Tracy lied to me about not bringing Ella. We went through the ceremony, and towards the end of the reception, I pulled Tracy aside and said that I realized she'd completely lied to me and that there were plenty of other kids. She looked really uncomfortable and said that it wasn't a big deal, but I said that I deserve an apology, and so does Ella at some point. Tracy got mad and said that I was ambushing her at her own wedding, and it's her and her partner's choice what they do. We ended the conversation there and went off to talk to other people. She sent me a text later saying that I was being selfish, and I'm the one that should be apologizing to her and her husband for making a big deal out of this. I'll admit that I sent a not-so-nice text back about her caring more about aesthetics than people. Now it's sort of blown up within our family. Okay, the sister is clearly not the butthole for choosing not to have Ella at her wedding because it's her wedding, so it's her choice. However, she is a butthole for lying to OP and for singling out Ella. If you're gonna have a no kids policy, then have a no kids policy. But what she actually has is a no Ella policy disguised as a no child policy. So I'm on your side, OP. If someone disrespected me and my daughter like that, I would also call them out, wedding or no wedding. Also, in the comments, OP clarifies that there were definitely kids under 12. The actual cutoff was around 6 to 7 years old. OP's brother brought his 10-year-old kid. So the fact that Ella got singled out is really weird and unusual. Oh my god! I just read an important comment. Okay, do you guys... Oh my god, this keeps getting worse! Do you guys want to know why OP's daughter wasn't allowed at the wedding? Because OP's wife and daughter were in an accident. In this accident, OP's wife died and his daughter's arm had to be amputated. Oh my god, that makes this story like 10 times worse! This woman excluded a 12-year-old family member from her wedding just because she was missing a limb. Disgusting, repulsive. I was ready to give this girl like a 1.5 out of 5 butthole score, but god, what do I give her now? Like 3.5? 4? That is awful. That is horrible behavior. I cannot believe OP didn't include this information in the post. I had to dig through the comments to find this. Wow. OP, I would absolutely go no contact after this. There's no coming back from this. This woman is so disgusted by the sight of your daughter that she's not even willing to be in your daughter's presence for her wedding because the missing arm could ruin her wedding photos. Repulsive, disgusting behavior. Yeah, I'm giving this woman a 4 out of 5 butthole score. Am I the butthole for telling another kid's mom to mind her own effing business? I'm a 30-year-old woman. My husband is typically the one to do a school run on his way back from work, but he got a nasty sinus infection, so I took over. My daughter, who's 7, has a new classmate. I haven't met their parents yet. When I got there, a group of moms I know was standing there waiting for their kids, and I joined them. The new kid's mom was there as well. We chat and got acquainted, and she asked me what I did for a living. I said that I ran a small business from home, and genuinely, I do. I handmake jewelry and sell them on platforms such as Etsy or Amazon, and I make more than I ever did in my corporate job. Her answer shocked me. So, you're on benefits then? My mouth dropped, and I said that, no, I run my own business. She said that she knows my type, and I'm just lying to not look bad. For context, this is an upper middle class neighborhood. I told her to mind her own effing business. She called me a scrounger? A scrounger? And a butthole without manners. I removed myself from the situation. When I was leaving with my daughter, I heard one of the other moms telling her that I really was successful. I wished I turned around to see her face. Now I'm thinking about this, and I feel bad. It wasn't my proudest moment, and I feel that I've made school runs awkward for my husband now. Am I the butthole? Because if so, I'll have to apologize. I gotta point out the confusion when I was reading this story about scrounger. I know what scrounger means. It's someone who scrounges. It's just, I've never heard that word used as an insult. You scrounger? What? Where did that come from? I almost have to wonder if this is like a English as a second language post and OP is, Spanish or Swedish or whatever, and in their native tongue, scrounger is a more logical insult because in English, this sounds bizarre. A scrounger? You scrounger! Anyways, OP, scrounger or not, I don't know where this lady's coming from. Why was she so aggressive, so rude, for nothing? What was the point? She called you out for something that she knows nothing about for no reason. Even if you were right, even if you were lying, she's still a rude jerk about it. Who cares what you do about your life? If you want to lie about what you do in your own time, okay, why make a big drama about it in front of the other mom just because you think that they're a scrounger, I guess? OP, all you did was stand up for yourself, so you did nothing wrong here. OP, I'm giving you 0 out of 5 bad guys. I'm giving the other lady, I guess 1 out of 5 bad guys, because just being rude and saying a mean sentence isn't that bad in the grand scheme of things. It's just, I don't understand why she did it. This lady's weird. Am I the butthole for expecting my brother-in-law to pay for my sea-doo after he let my nephew wreck it? I just had my family out to the lake for Memorial Day. I work remotely from there, so it's not just a vacation home, it's my home. I'm single and like to buy myself toys. I also like to entertain. I own 2 Spark Tricks 800cc Sea-Doos. For context, let me look up the price of those real quick. Brand new, these go for probably $8,000 to $9,000. They're a lot of fun, but they're also really powerful. My sister and her family came up for the weekend. We had a good time, and I had a blast towing the kids around on a tube. The problem came when one of my nephews wanted to drive the machine. I said no, because while I may call it a toy, it is not a toy. When I was in the house, my brother-in-law let my nephew drive. But they skipped a step because he's an idiot. He forgot to attach the tether clip to the life jacket. The kid lost control and fell off. Normally, the tether is a dead man switch and turns off the machine if the rider falls off. So then the Sea-Doo took off for a bit and started making slow circles until it ran into a dock. A bunch of plastic on the top broke, and some just got badly scratched. They came and told me, and I told my brother-in-law that he had to pay for fixing my machine. He's mad because it was an accident. I said that he took it and gave it to someone who didn't have permission or experience, so he's responsible. My sister and I talked, and she paid me for the parts that I need to get fixed. My brother-in-law is pissed because it came out of their fun budget, and now he has to save up again for their vacation. Am I the butthole? Down in the comments, Slow Man Shuffle says it perfectly. Not the butthole. Your brother-in-law should be kissing your butt to not press charges. That was stupid and dangerous, and he risked his own son's life with that attitude. For real, no means no. Let's imagine a very real scenario. What if the nephew falls off the Sea-Doo, and the Sea-Doo, because it's still on, makes a slow circle and then comes around and hits the nephew in the head, possibly ripping his face open with the propellers? What your brother-in-law did was literally life-threateningly stupid. He should 100% pay to fix the Sea-Doo. OP, you get 0 out of 5 buttholes. I'm giving your brother-in-law 3 out of 5 buttholes. OP, don't forget to charge him for the damaged dock, too. That was rSlash Am I the Butthole, and if you like this content, check out my podcast where I publish the exact same episodes. Also, hit that subscribe button because I put out new Reddit videos every single day.